Yep. Hey everybody, welcome to JustHavesTV. This is our first live episode. We're so excited, and I have some special guests with me today. Over here to my right, Lisa, who you all know and remember from some past episodes, but a new guest today. This is Marianne. She works with us at JustHavesTV and on the Plus Media team. And today we are going to do a round table discussion on what we like to call
literally
Weddiquette. So we're going to talk weddings from 3 different perspectives. So Lisa is a self-admitted, she's gone to about 40, 50 weddings in the last
Always
year
a
or
bridesmaid,
two.
never the bride.
That's a lot. Also, you've been in a lot of weddings as a maid of honor, bridesmaid. Marianne is planning her wedding now for October. And then, of course, we know I'm at my, 7-month mark as a newlywed. So you got a lot of different perspectives here, and I have come up with some questions to have a little discussion with you gals.
Sounds great.
We're up here on the roof, we're having a good time. Let's do this.
Gorgeous out.
Okay, so first question, and I think that this is something that a lot of people talk about as a wedding guest. Who gets a +1 to a wedding? Who doesn't get a +1? What are our thoughts on, do you invite someone with a +1? Also from the perspective as a guest, have you been invited with a +1, been invited without a +1? What are our thoughts? Bear, why don't you start us off in terms of you're picking your list of people right now. Who gets a +1, who doesn't?
Sure. So I guess it really depends on the type of wedding. If you're trying to keep it small, usually what I find is if you give a +1 to somebody that's been in a long-term relationship, if they're married, obviously, if they're engaged, or if you're inviting somebody that doesn't know that many people at the wedding, is usually, I feel, like a courtesy. For my wedding, I have so many people that are going to be coming.
Tell everybody how many people you have coming to your wedding.
Our list right now is at like 325.
Oh my God.
That's the biggest wedding I've ever heard of.
That is a huge, that's like a celebrity wedding. That's huge.
Well, I mean, our families, both sides of our families are really big.
Irish Italians, there's kind of no choice.
In New York, our family alone, just the list is about 250.
Oh, all right.
So
Happy Hackle says that's huge.
Yes, well, I know, tell me about it.
That is literally huge.
So I literally had to look through my list, see who is in a long-term relationship, who's married, who isn't. And then for some people, I just told them, listen, I'm trying to cut corners.
Where she can, somewhere.
But if you really want to bring somebody, just let me know. And, you know, it isn't what it is at this point. What's another 10, 15 people?
I think that's good too, to keep the kind of communication about your decisions open, because I've been invited with a guest, I've been invited without a guest, and usually if you're family, I feel like you should be, and you're over a certain age, let's say, 20, something like that, you probably should be invited with the guest, because you're older, and I mean, if you want to have someone to dance with who's not your cousin, like, it'd be nice to have someone there.
Even though for Lisa, she'd probably love to dance.
I have
with her
hot
cousin.
cousins, she knows. Our cousins are smoking hot. Love you guys.
Oh yeah, we're related.
Kathy wants to know what the seating chart craziness was about.
Oh my God.
I'm not at that point yet, so I haven't sent the actual invites out yet.
Good luck, girl.
I probably, that's going to be a whole other ball game. But
and with Irish Italians, there's some deep-seated feuds going on. So you're gonna have to have sections of.
Seating's hard. Seating's going to be hard no matter. I mean, for you, it's going to be even hard because you have so many people. We had about 130 people at our wedding, and even with that small amount, it was very hard to pick a seating chart because your tables all come in varying sizes and they can only fit so many people. So then you have to make these decisions based on, well, an 8-person table, a 10-person table, a 12-person table. What if you have a group of friends and then just 1 or 2 friends can't make it into that table?
Oh, yeah.
Then your parents start voicing their opinions. They want these people with these people. It gets very difficult.
I actually just went to a wedding that didn't have a seating chart.
Interesting. You just picked where you wanted to sit?
Just picked where you wanted to sit.
And how did that work out?
It was fine. It ended up working out fine. I mean, I wouldn't suggest it for, people that are having really big weddings, but I think that something like that would be fine.
Was it small?
It was around 100 people. Okay. I would say, give or take.
So, Lisa, for the weddings that you have been invited to without a +1, what were your thoughts behind that? Did you feel as though I really should be invited with a +1?
It varied, and the more I've planned weddings, I'm Marianne's maid of honor, as some of you might know, and I was maid of honor in a wedding last September. I've been in it'll be my 6th or 7th, I can't remember now, wedding by June, next June, that I've been in. And the more I plan with people, the more I kind of realize it's not so cut and dry. And I think also your job as an invited guest is don't just bring someone just to bring one.
No,
you know,
I agree.
I have a wedding that I'm going to in August where all my friends are going to be there anyway, so I'm not bringing a guest because you have to pay for the envelope because that's just courtesy, I feel like.
True.
And you don't want those people to be paying for a person or meeting someone for the first time at their own wedding. So I understand if you're not dating someone why you wouldn't be invited with just like a random guest, but if you don't really know a lot of people, to Mayor's point, that's a great point. Because if you're sitting there, it's not really a lot of fun to not have someone at least to like be your comfort zone to do it. So I think it's also up to the guest to decide who's an appropriate +1 to bring. Don't bring someone just because you have a +1.
No.
I've gone stag to so many weddings and it's been the best decision to not have to look out for someone.
I lost it, but Nemo M's wants to know how much to put in a wedding envelope.
Oh, well,
you know what? I'm
That's
so
our next
glad that you brought
question.
that up because that was one of my questions here. What is the right amount of money to give as a guest? And I think that kind of depends on so many things. It depends on, is this a destination wedding? Did I also have to pay for a hotel to go to your wedding? Did, where is the wedding? So many factors go into that. How close are you to the person whose wedding it is?
And what can you really afford? Let's be honest.
And that too.
That's
But
a
I
huge
hope that the
consideration.
people who are inviting you to their wedding are respectful of the fact that everybody has a different financial situation and you give what you can. And I just want to put out there that it is about the sentiment. It is not
You
about the
always
money.
said that.
We
Yes.
opened all our gifts, and the best part really was reading what everybody wrote in their cards and just appreciating the effort.
I agree.
But you know, people want to know what's the dollar amount.
I always try to cover my plate. That's like the best way to go about it. As long as you cover your plate, you should be fine. If you have more to give it. That's
But
what
how
I
much
said,
is
like,
a plate? That's my
That's
question.
what
Everyone
depends
says that.
too,
And how
because
much is a plate?
I'm not responsible for somebody who wants to spend $300 a head to cover my plate.
No.
So if you want me there because you want me there, you're going to have to accept a little bit less. If you want me there to cover a plate charge, I'll probably respectfully decline and just send something. I haven't had to deal with that yet. I feel like I've been invited.
I'm only
I
saying
agree.
that
Well,
because I'm in
our
the
family,
middle of planning.
Tell them about our family. They have a log since the 70s where they write down who gave what. Aunt Jane in 1971
Oh
only
my
gave
God.
$20. Her daughter's getting $21 too. I mean, it's just
My
the way it is.
grandmother, I mean, we joke around about it, but my grandmother has, I'm so glad she doesn't have social media. She will bring a blank check to
Oh
the
my
wedding,
God, I can't believe it.
and we'll see how the cocktail hour is. If she really loves the cocktail hour and the meal and the whole nine, she will
true.
base her gift on
My
that.
father said people used to bring cash, and for everything that went wrong, he would take a 20 out. So
That is hilarious.
But I think that's a little old-fashioned at this point.
Yeah, it is.
Keeping a log, though, I will say, I mean, unfortunately, we were kind of one of the last couples in our groups of friends to get married, but we kept a list of how much everybody gave. So the few people that are left, we're going to give them the same amount. Everybody was pretty fair, I thought, and we'll give you what you gave us, and then we keep it equal, and there's no issue.
I've had rich cousins get married 1, 2, 3, 4 times, who knows how many, and then have multiple weddings and pay a lot of money per head. And I don't think that every bride and groom expect everyone. It's a great barometer to say, okay, so if they spent $150, I'm going to give $150. I'm comfortable with that. Anything beyond that, and also you should really cover your dates. Even if you're a woman, you should cover your man's
how does that work? I feel like, and this goes back to Lisa's point, don't just bring somebody just to bring them, because then you're responsible for paying for this person that you don't even know if you really like or not.
If you really need them there and you really feel like it's worth the investment, I guess you could say.
Very expensive date.
And some people, though, so for example, I had a friend who I was maid of honor in September. She invited all of us with a guest with the assumption that we were going to bring someone that she couldn't invite. So, I brought my friend Storm, we brought our friends, so then they covered their half of the
So $250, $300 per couple is good.
I think that's pretty good.
I actually think that is
the perfect
standard.
Yeah.
If you're really close and you want to give more, but I think you're safe with that.
We've had some weddings where if we're in it or it's been a friend for 12 years, then maybe we'll give a little more. But I think a standard $250, $300 is very nice.
And again, I agree with you with what you said before. It's the wedding isn't about making money.
Right.
Like
it's
nice.
It's
nice. It's a great sentiment and a great gift, but it really is about celebrating the marriage.
Otherwise,
and having
don't get
people
married.
there. Exactly. I agree with you. Then don't get married. That's not what it's
Let
about.
people send you gifts and go to City Hall and let them send you checks and make a ton of money. Because you might just break even.
And let's
you should be
also
prepared to break even and not make money.
No, we've already gave ourselves
whatever you can get back from your investment is very nice. Some people, we use some of our money towards our honeymoon. Like, listen, it goes fast.
Yeah.
It goes really fast. And also, just a note, we've all talked about this before. That old supposed rule that you have a year to give a gift, I don't personally believe that.
Heard of that.
If you don't go and you have, I think you maybe have like a couple months, but I think by the time that they go and come back from their honeymoon, like it should be done. You don't want to have that on your mind, I feel like.
All right. Well, that was a good one. Okay, so we've talked about how all of us have been to a lot of weddings. We've been in weddings. What are your thoughts on being a bridesmaid or being a maid of honor? You know, what has that been like? Good experience, bad experience? And if you've had both, what's made one better than the other?
A lot of learning.
Yeah, you get better each time.
Yeah, you get better each time. Why don't you?
It depends so much on the bride.
Yeah.
I've been very lucky. I'm not just saying this because some of you might be watching. You've all been great brides. Some require more than others. Some, ask more of you than not. I've been very lucky with Mare and with my best friend Allie, who I was maid of honor in her wedding. We got to pick our own dresses, and that's a huge, huge part of it. You're not like kind of pigeonholed into one look and one price. So that I think is really, really great. So that's been wonderful. Bachelorette parties, things. It depends on how much they ask of you and the other stuff. But in most of my experiences, it's been very positive, and a very low-key bride is what really makes it.
What's been surprising to me, in this last year of all these people I know getting married, is that a big group of my friends, every wedding that they've all been in with each other and been a bridesmaid for, it has been, I've noticed, a lot for them. Like, they've been responsible to do a lot and also to pay towards a lot of things. I went into my wedding just under an assumption that this was, like, for lack of a better word, our burden, our thing.
Yeah,
so my mom paid for my shower, and we paid for our engagement party, and I never wanted to put any of those expenses onto the bridal party. But I guess a lot of people, though, they do. All the bridesmaids pitch in together and they pay for the bridal shower. So I guess
if that's your gift, okay, so let's say in Marianne's case, it would have been fine. You've got 12, the 2 kids. So she's got 12 people in their bridal party. 2 are kids, so I don't know if that really counts. But let's say 10 of us, gave $100 towards her shower. That's $1,000. She might work pretty nice for a decent shower, depending on how many people. So if you do it as a gift, that's fine. You can't be expected to throw that. The bride can't dictate what she wants. I wouldn't let Mare say, so it's going to be at the plaza, and you guys are going to all pay
and you're responsible for it.
So enjoy, have at it. But I think that if you're doing it that way, that's great. In my experiences and the other weddings I've been in, the mothers have all paid for the showers.
Yeah.
And that's just because they had the means to do it. If not, the bridal party can kick in and do that. I think that's a great gift. And then you can say at the shower, and my bridal party was nice enough to throw it. And you feel good that it's a good gift, but you don't have to do that. I think that depends.
It does really depend.
But it does
on who
add
the
up.
bride is
And when you factor in, we'll probably get to bachelorette parties too. If you factor in location bachelorette parties, rehearsal dinners if they're not paying for them, which is rare, but it happens. There's a lot of factors.
Well, that brings me to one of my questions, which was, what are your feelings on this whole, the last few years now, it's been a big trend that a lot of people want to go on their bachelorette parties as destinations. So I think for a little while it was destination weddings was the big thing.
Yeah.
Now it's these bachelorette party destinations. That becomes an expense. And again, I don't know what you've seen, but I have seen that, I was lucky enough, my girls kind of all pitched in for my hotel room. I paid my flights, they paid for that.
Oh, that's nice.
So I love them, but also they're a big expense.
Yeah.
It's a big commitment. What are your thoughts on that when you get invited to those sorts of things?
I'm having a destination bachelorette.
Where are you
party.
going?
We're going to Ocean City in Maryland.
Oh.
I've never been. I'm really excited. I love going to destination bachelorette parties. It's like You get to have a weekend with your best girlfriends, and it's exciting. It's something to look forward to. And you are right, it is a big expense. But there's ways, I feel like that you could find different ways to save money here and there.
Right.
You don't have to go out to eat every night. You don't have to do every bar, every show. You don't have to go to a spa. It's really just about the weekend being with your friends. That's all I care about.
And what are your thoughts then on, like, I don't know if everybody's responded to you yet, if the trip is totally planned yet. What if one of
I'd be the one to ask them.
Yeah,
what if
you're planning it?
What if one of your bridesmaids said, you know what, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could swing it.
She can't do it.
Right.
What, am I going to crucify her? I mean, like, it is what it is.
That's
I'm
why
not
mirrors,
that
not
way.
just because you're sitting next to me,
Yeah.
you are a good bride, and it just comes with being a certain kind of person. Everything is about communication.
Right.
If this
Right.
bridesmaid's talking behind her back and I can't believe she's doing this, but if you can't afford it, you just got to be forthcoming and be like, Mare, I would love to celebrate with you. I don't want you to change your plans for me, but I really can't swing it. Let's do something special together. I'm so sorry I can't make it. If everyone would just be upfront and honest about what they're dealing with and how they feel, we'd be in a much better place wedding-wise. You know, if you really wanted to bring a guest again, for example, if you just talk to the bride about the things that are worrying you, I think you're in much better shape. And I mean, destination bachelorette parties, I think, have gone crazy. I mean, they're like the rule, not the exception anymore.
Yeah, it's everybody now.
I mean, we originally planned hers for Disney, and then when we were factoring in the costs and the flights and who can come from where, it was a great idea. Maybe do that with a tighter group of friends, or
A
do that
smaller
together,
group,
and do something that's drivable for most people, so that at least they feel like if they can make it, they will.
I looked at it as we went to Vegas for mine, and I knew what a huge expense that was going to be. So when we sent out the invite to a lot of people, maybe like 17 people, I knew that all 17 people weren't going to come. And I said from the beginning, if you cannot do this, if you cannot swing this, I totally get it. It's a lot to ask from somebody. This is just what I've always wanted to do. So even if it's just me and two girlfriends, I would have been happy.
Your good friends would know that about you, and they'd be planning for it.
Right, and you know, you get engaged, you're planning the wedding for a year, 2 years. Some people, like, I've gone to so many of these destination trips. I've had to save purposely for them, but now it's coming to a point you have to cherry pick because you can't afford to go to every single one.
You can't go to Vegas every year. I mean, I'm in a wedding every year. You know, if I went to, I mean, I love Vegas, so I would probably make it work. And it depends on what your enjoyment too. Some people don't gamble, some people don't like it, so they definitely won't go.
Right.
But treat it like a little mini vacation for yourself. Factor it in as your trip for the year. And if you really are good enough friends with that person, you'll want to go.
You'll find a way to make it work no matter what. All right, so we talked a little bit before about how Marianne is planning this huge wedding, and it just fascinates me, I guess, because mine was half the size of yours. Do you think that it is extra stressful planning a wedding when it's this big?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When I was making my wedding list, that was probably the most stressful factor in this whole process, because there's no, you know, if you come from a big family, and we're a big New York Italian and Irish family, so I've got like 3 million cousins and aunts and uncles, you can't, it's very hard to trim the fat off of your list. And at just one point, you just kind of like have to like go with God and just say, all right, this is it. And then once you get past that, then it's fine. But it has been very stressful.
But do you feel like everything else in the planning, do you think it is different when you have a lot more people, or it's probably the same process, it's just bigger amounts of things?
It's bigger amounts of things, I would have to say. I think, you know,
or like food costs, obviously, because you're paying per person.
It's more people, obviously, means more money and more food, because you're paying per plate, per person. But it's, I mean, I just had to kind of say it is what it is and just kind of go with it.
Now, have you felt like you've had to cut anything because of the fact that you have more people, or you've been able to find ways to get everything you want?
Here and there.
Yeah.
So I'm not having a huge Venetian hour. I don't. So instead of doing something like that, I'm just gonna have something, you know, the cake and some small pastries on the table.
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, it really
so
is.
much food by that point.
Yeah.
No one even wants to look at it.
With invitations, instead of getting RSVP cards, I'm doing a website so people can
That's actually a really cool
that.
idea.
Old people are gonna hate that.
Right.
I love that.
I like that.
I don't have stamps. I haven't sent a letter since I'm 12. You know what I mean, to Santa. And I just don't have stamps. I don't want to mail it back, or you guys have to pay for people to mail it back.
That's really
awesome.
That's what it mostly is, because most people who provide RSVP cards now, they'll put a stamp on it for you.
That's what
but it does
a whole
cost
other thing,
extra money. We had to spend the extra money for the RSVP card, plus they charge you for the envelope, plus you have to pay for the stamps. The stuff with the paper goods really adds up very quickly.
It really does. And, it's just, and then it's just tightening the belt in every other aspect of your life. Like, we try not, Mike and I, my fiance, we try not to go out to eat as much. We have to say no to going out and hanging out with our friends. It's a lot of like doing things, finding fun things to do at home.
Stretching a meal.
Yeah, stretching a meal for the week.
But so it's worth it. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, it's hard to say no, but
but once that day comes, and don't worry about that Venetian hour thing.
Once
the food is between the cocktail hour and the dinner and
we should have a rebuttal with you. I would love to ask you on behalf of Marianne, like something after about what you would maybe change or what advice you might have for her.
Why don't you talk about it right now?
Yeah, you said she won't notice the Venetian hour.
No, you won't notice that.
What, in your retrospect, now that you've been through it, would you change, or were you really happy that you did?
I was very hands-on with the entire process. Like,
we're very similar.
Everything. We're producers,
so we can't help it.
I think being in this industry and producing shows, events, whatever, makes you so much better at this part, because I'm already so OCD, detail-oriented, that I feel like it was really my vision. You will have this feeling like, oh my God, it really was exactly what I wanted. I'm so happy I didn't put it into somebody else's hands. The only problem with being that type of person that I regret I did is in the beginning I found myself like, why is this light that bright? Why does the chair look like that? This needs to be moved. I had to talk myself down at the cocktail hour portion to be like, you're gonna miss this. You're gonna miss this entire wedding because you are nitpicking things that nobody else is noticing at all. But I don't know.
I was at your wedding. It was beautiful.
I
wouldn't change a thing.
Not to sound lame, but I don't really know if there's anything that I would go back and change. I was happy.
I mean, my parents kind of gave me the best advice. They were like, at the end of the day, it's just a party.
Right.
It's just a party.
It is.
And people that want to be there are going to be there. And as long as you're happy, everybody else is going to be happy.
You are going to be so... I did not stop crying. Lisa can attest to this.
Oh, she loves to cry.
Like 1 minute. But happy tears. But I mean, cried.
Oh, please.
The entire
I cried on the train
time.
by myself listening to songs
I love
that I'm going to have.
I cried the entire wedding at Allie's wedding. I cried from the moment I walked down the aisle until the moment someone put me to bed, because I was just so overcome with emotion. And it was so moving. I'm moved by weddings, and I'm going to cry like a baby at yours. I mean, we were kids together. We used to take baths together.
If it's your very good friend and you know all the people there, it's a very emotional experience. All right, so we went over that. All right, so Lisa, as somebody who has attended so many weddings, at this point, are you feeling like you still want to go? When you get an invitation in the mail, are you excited, or are you now kind of like, I'm done?
I'm still excited because the people who are getting married thus far are true friends, and I'm single, so it's not like I'm going with, a boyfriend who maybe I don't know their friends as much, so they're genuinely my friends and my family. I will say the money is becoming a little scary.
Yeah.
So when I'm thinking that I have, by the time everyone's getting married and they're kind of staggering everything, bachelorette party, bridal shower, wedding, bachelor, like for all different people, I'm having a hard time with that, if I'm being honest, like kind of doing what I need to do and paying rent and then paying for these people. But I am still excited by weddings. I love weddings. I don't understand people who don't. I think that they're like the best kind of party. It's an open bar. It's, you have a good time.
You know what it is?
Oh, open bar. That's a great point.
That's a whole other ballgame.
I've been to ones that aren't, but I've crucified them for it. I've just been like, really?
The way that
get drunk your cocktail
the difference between a wedding, if you're gonna have a good time, and a bad time, because I have been at one or two in the last 2 years that I haven't had the best time. I think it's really how many people at the wedding. The weddings I go to where our huge group of friends are there are the best times ever. Dan and I have been to some where we hardly really know anybody at all, and we can make a good time, us two, of course, but it's not quite as fun.
I agree. That's a great point.
But if it's your good friends and it's your group of people, you're gonna have a blast.
That's why I don't bring dates to those, because not only do I not want to pay the envelope, but it's also because if your friends are there anyway, you don't need somebody else. You want to not have to babysit, and you want to be able to like immerse yourself in your friends.
Yeah, the cash bar thing though.
It's a great point. I've been to them. They exist.
They definitely exist, and I feel bad for any of us to say anything bad about it, because obviously that comes down to a financial situation.
Yep.
However, I feel like I would cut something else.
100%.
I would get a less expensive dress. I would get less expensive food.
It is.
I don't know what.
Extremely expensive. I mean, when you see the difference between an open bar and that's really a lot of what you're paying for. But I agree. I guess if people want to get married that bad and they can't wait until they're more financially sound, but I don't know, invite less people. Let the people there have a good time.
I've actually even been to a rehearsal dinner where they provided only wine, which sometimes you don't want wine, and then it was cash for the rest of it. But I'm going to a rehearsal dinner. I didn't think I'd have to pay for anything, so I didn't bring my wallet.
It's hard.
It was kind of a
that I'm more okay with. If there's some sort of if they're providing something,
right,
then I'm actually okay with that. But I like beer and wine. I think is like standard. If you don't have that, I would be really disappointed if I didn't know that going in. 'Cause I don't show up with money either. I show up with like $20 to tip the bartender.
Why would you show up with money? You're going to something that you don't think you're going to need money for. Carrying a little
God forbid my dad's not there. What would I do?
So this one I think is a fun one, because I think girls have lots of different opinions on this. Bridal showers.
Hate them. I don't care who knows it.
Do you open the gifts at the bridal shower, or do you not? Will you be opening yours?
Well, I'm having a honeymoon shower. I am not having a bridal shower. I mean, Mike and I have been living together for 2 years. Mm-hmm. We live in a tiny apartment together.
Yep.
And that's just something that I don't want to say I would be so gracious if I got a lot of gifts, but it's things that I don't really need or care about.
No, you don't need them.
So there was a whole thing with my shower. I really, I didn't want one. It was just the wedding. And my matron of honor has been my Aunt Susan Hanson. She's been so gracious to take care of the shower for me, and I'm thrilled. I'm really excited. I really am.
So what is a honeymoon shower?
People give you money towards your honeymoon.
Amazing.
So you make a website and you
so then it doesn't cut the expense from what you want to put towards your wedding.
Yep.
And I think it's a really great thing, and I'm really grateful and excited that that's what it's ended up being. So I have a website called the Honey Fund.
Oh, those sites are the best.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Kickstarter sort of thing, and they give you different categories. So I've been getting a few gifts, and my Aunt Dina, on Mike's side, my Aunt Dina, she gave money towards drinking. I had another aunt.
So it makes it feel like you're giving a gift. You're not just giving cash, which people feel funny about giving cash. If you can make it itemized so that someone could buy you something, that's wonderful. I think that's really cute.
We found out too late about the whole honeymoon sites. I think that they are the best idea ever. I don't know if you remember when it was around my time for the bridal shower, we had a registry for the engagement parties. By the time the shower came, there really weren't many items left, and I got a lot of calls about, for my mom, oh my God, you don't have anything, what's your grandma gonna get you? I don't want one more pot, one more pan, one more bowl. I didn't go back and register for anything else. I told everyone, money, get me a gift certificate to somewhere. I don't want one more registry item.
Make me an ashtray.
Anything.
But every bride is different, and that's what I will say. I've been to a lot of different showers, and if that's what the bride wants, you're only gonna get one wedding shower. That's how I think about it. If this is this is an important day for the bride and this excites them, just suck it up. Just suck it up.
Totally.
And just.
I go begrudgingly. Everyone knows. This is not a secret that I hate showers. I hate bridal showers. I hate baby showers. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. And people know it, and you go because it's it's something that you're supposed to do, and you bring a gift like anything else. I do like, though, if you are going to do it, a couple people I know have done like green bridal showers where you don't wrap the
Yes.
gifts. So at least, you know, you put your name on it. There's not all that time to wrap it. You're not surprised. You registered for
Right.
it. It's not like this crock pot's a big revelation. You know you asked for
That's
it.
why I don't get why anyone opens the gifts.
Yeah.
It's not a surprise. I was
For
very
the older lady.
That's
Let me see. Hold that up.
see.
Oh, hold it up.
Yes,
Oh, pass it around.
I can't.
Oh,
I can't. I was very
beautiful.
adamant about not opening gifts.
Yeah,
I was
you're-
not going to do it. Didn't do it. At the very end, when there were a few last people, stragglers, they kind of wanted me to, so I opened a few. But I did not want to do that. I've been at a shower where she literally only opened the gifts the entire
2
party
hours.
because
Oh,
she
yeah.
had so many people there.
Ditto.
Who the heck wants to watch that? It's the most boring thing
It's
in the world.
horrible. Oh, it's
Anyway.
horrible. I'm sorry, it is. You all know it. Don't pretend like you don't know it's horrible.
So
it's terrible.
I think we've covered a lot of good stuff here today.
offended a lot of people.
Got
Sorry.
those true opinions out there. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you have any other questions you want to follow up on, tweet us. You know how to get in touch with us. And if you guys like this, let us know. We'll do it again.
Thank you
for
guys so
joining.
much for watching.
See
We
you
had a
next
great
week.
time.
Thanks, guys.